Listen to these two sentences. Let's eat, Grandma. Let's eat, Grandma. Same words, completely different meanings. In the first, we're inviting Grandma to join us for dinner. But in the second, Grandma is dinner. The only thing separating a lovely family meal with our grandma from something deeply disturbing is just one tiny pause. And that pause has a name. Well, actually, what it's marking has a name. We call these chunks speech units or thought groups. Each one is a small group of words that belong together as one unit of meaning, with a natural little break between them. Understanding how speech units work will help you understand what native speakers actually mean. It will also help you to sound more natural when you speak. And if rushing and stumbling over your words is something that you struggle with, then this is going to help you organize your speech in a much clearer way. My name is Emma and welcome to my channel Pronunciation with Emma, where I help English learners from around the world master British English pronunciation. I'm a CELTA qualified English teacher with a degree in linguistics, a master's degree in teaching English, and over 16 years of teaching experience. Before we start, if you're not sure where to begin with your English pronunciation journey, then why not start by downloading my free English pronunciation pack. It includes my best English pronunciation lessons that give you a clear, step-by-step introduction to British English pronunciation, plus a bonus practice story to shadow me and improve your British accent. The link to download your free pack is below in the description. So, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a speech unit? When we speak, we naturally group words together into small, meaningful little chunks. So we don't say every word separately or with equal weight or equal pauses, because that would sound really weird and robotic. Instead, we chunk words together based on the meaning, and we put very small pauses between those chunks. Those chunks are called speech units, or thought groups, tone units, chunks, depending on the teacher or the resource you're using. You might have come across different terms before, but now you know they all pretty much are referring to the same thing. So, take a look at this sentence here. I've added some dashes to show you where the natural pauses would be. So it would sound something like, I was running late, so I called ahead to let them know. Now, it's important to note that there are no fixed rules about exactly where you should divide the speech into units. It really depends on the meaning, the emphasis, and how fast you're speaking. But some chunks feel much more natural than others. And getting this wrong can really confuse the listener or sound very strange. For example, if I said, I was running late, so I called ahead to let them know. Sounds a bit strange, doesn't it? So let's have a look at another example of just how much a speech unit boundary can change the meaning. Take this sentence here. I told him naturally he'd have to pay. Now listen to what happens when I move the boundary. I told him naturally he'd have to pay. In the first one, naturally belongs with the paying part. It's like saying, of course he'd have to pay. It goes without saying. However, in the second sentence, naturally describes how I told him, like in a calm and matter-of-fact way. Like the paying is almost besides the point. So they're the same words, but you can see that we actually have two completely different meanings. The only thing that's changed is where the pauses fall in the sentence. So if there are no fixed rules, then how do you know what to group together into a chunk? I want you to think about the meaning. So the words that belong to the same idea tend to go in the same unit. For example, a subject and its verb often stay together, or a preposition or a phrase tend to stay together. Like you wouldn't normally split a phrase like in the middle of the night. You wouldn't say in the middle of the night. Yeah, sounds a little bit strange. So little phrases like that, you would keep them together. Here are some more examples to show what a natural split would sound like. She left work early because she had an appointment. By the time we arrived, the meeting had already started. To be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about it. Now let's compare those with an unnatural split. She left work early because she had an appointment. By the time we arrived, the meeting had already started. To be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about it. So you hear how the pauses really disrupt the flow of the sentences and they make them sound really strange. So the person listening to has to work that little bit harder to try and piece together the meanings. A good rule of thumb is that if a unit feels too short, then you've probably over-divided. And if it feels too long and you're struggling to pause and get your breath, then you're probably not dividing it enough. So aim for chunks that carry one complete idea each time. Now, here's a really powerful trick that native speakers use all the time that I rarely hear my students use. When you want to really emphasize something, you can give it its own short speech unit. So by isolating a word into its own chunk, it instantly draws the listener's attention to it. You'll notice this happening more in things like TED Talks and speeches, but it's something you can find also in natural everyday speech as well. So, listen to the difference. It was absolutely incredible, compared to, it was absolutely incredible. The second version has more like oomph, it has more enthusiasm. Okay, here's another example. Listen to this one. I told you repeatedly, I don't want to discuss it. I told you repeatedly, I don't want to discuss it. So that second one sounds like I'm really fed up of repeating myself. So it comes across as a lot stronger, like I'm more annoyed. Now, so far we've looked at the pauses element of speech units, but let's have a look at the actual chunks themselves. So within a speech unit, the words are usually connected together. So there are no little pauses between the words inside a chunk. The whole unit flows and connects together. And this is where all the features of connected speech come into play. For example, catenation, where a consonant links to the next vowel sound. Intrusive sounds. Assimilation, where sounds change to make it easier to transition between words. All of this happens inside speech units, not between them. So take a unit like turn it off. It doesn't sound like turn it off, but together in a unit it would sound like turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. So they all get connected together. This is one reason why native speakers can be so hard to follow, because within these little chunks, they're squishing all the words together. I actually have a lesson on YouTube where I analyze a story and I talk about this exact topic in more detail. So if you'd like more examples of speech units and connecting these little chunks together, then you can click the card above, or I will link the video down below in the description for you. Right, let's now put everything you've learned into practice. I'm going to give you some example sentences, and I want you to pause the video and mark where you think the natural speech unit boundaries would be. Remember that there's no single correct answer for all of them, but some divisions feel more natural than others. So here are the sentences. Pause now and have a go. Okay, now let's practice together. So these are where I would naturally add the pauses, but if you have something different, then don't worry. Just listen carefully and repeat after me. When I got home, I realised I'd left my keys at the office. To be fair, she did warn us it was going to be difficult. He's been working on that project for months and still hasn't finished it. If you ever get the chance to visit, you really should. It's beautiful. Luckily, we managed to find a table, even though we hadn't booked one. Now let's try that emphasis technique that I showed you earlier. I'm going to give you some sentences, and I want you to say them twice. Once in a natural, normal way, and then once again with the highlighted word in its own speech unit. Really exaggerate that highlighted word the second time you read the sentence. So number 1. She never once apologized. She never once apologized. I have asked you so many times. I have asked you so many times. So did you feel the difference when we emphasize that key word? It sounds so much stronger and it has so much more emotion. So, to summarize what we've done today, speech units, or thought groups, are the natural chunks we break our speech into. And the words in those chunks all connect together, and we have many pauses between them. Where you place your pauses can affect the meaning. As we saw, the same sentence chunked differently can mean something completely different. So let me know in the comments, did any of the quiz sentences surprise you? Have you heard about speech units before, or is this a completely new topic to you? Let me know down below in the comments. If today's lesson was useful, then remember that my free pronunciation pack is the perfect next step for you. It includes my hand-picked top pronunciation lessons, so you know exactly what to focus on first. Plus a bonus practice story where you can hear all of these features working together in natural connected speech. It's completely free for you to download, and the link to do so is down below in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, then please remember to give it a like and subscribe if you'd like more lessons on British English pronunciation. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye!